Welcome back to West of Everest. I'm Lee. He's Grant. Yeah, Grant, he's back. And we're here to talk some OU football. Unfortunately, the Sooners find themselves in another bounce-back position. At least the last time they were tasked with winning following a loss, they did it. And it even came on the road. This week's task, though, much more difficult than the previous time. Another road matchup, this one at number 14, Tennessee. For the second consecutive week, Oklahoma's defense facing a high-powered offense. And can Oklahoma's offense figure out what promises to be another somewhat middling to mediocre SEC defense, but didn't seem to matter a whole lot, with the exception of a couple of plays against Ole Miss. All right, Grant, welcome back. By law, are you now required to become an Iowa Hawkeyes fan since you watched the Gophers give up 40-plus to that Iowa team?
Yeah, sure, I guess. Not a great college football Saturday for one Grant Benson. Genuinely, and like I don't, you want to be grateful. You spend a weekend with your best friends, and that aspect of it was great. I did pretty well at the casino for the first time in like a decade, it seems like, as well. So I guess that's all always good. But in terms of football for me, that's about as miserable as it possibly can get for me on a football Saturday. Like that was, and the Gopher game, like whatever. I don't know. It is what it is. I knew the Gophers were going to get absolutely run out of that stadium. That game being maybe the most uncompetitive football game I've ever seen live. That I didn't necessarily see coming. But that's nobody cares about that. Nobody wants to hear us talk about that. By the time I will say at the beginning of that game while I was there, the entire time I was just, because I walked into the stadium and I did not know what the end result of the OU game was.
Oh.
So I did not know. And of course my phone wasn't working and everything. And so by the time that I saw the final score flash, that OU had lost 34-26. The Gophers were already down 24-0. So during that entire thing, all I was caring about, I was like losing my mind. I needed to see, what was going on. So, disappointing day, really disappointing day, and real disappointing day for Oklahoma. Oklahoma's fans, everyone is just that was a situation where I think like all of the stars should have been aligned for them to get a really, really big get over the hump victory for the first time. That would have been, and the 2023 Texas game still is Vinny's, best win in his tenure. They would have been able to win on Saturday. It would have been definitely his second best win, and it wouldn't have been that far behind the Texas win 2 years ago, in my mind. And gosh, so many disappointing aspects of it. But number one, the loss resembled kind of the median Brent Venables loss, which I think is sort of sticking the knife in and twisting it a little bit, even though it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. I went on this, when I don't make a prediction on this thing, that clues you in what I think is going to happen in the game. And I went into that game on Saturday expecting Oklahoma to lose the game. The way that it played out, it hurt quite a bit. And I think, and we'll get to it more, but the biggest failure is I cannot believe they took the lead in the second half of that game. They had the lead going into the fourth quarter, and they still lost the game after getting just so thoroughly outplayed, so thoroughly outplayed that you actually rebound in the third quarter and you dominate like a stretch of the game, and you're able to take the lead at home. And I've been hearing from some people who were there, you were there, saying like that stretch where the Xavier Robinson touchdown run, and then the ensuing 3 and out, and then the other touchdown drive after that. People saying it was kind of the most electric they've ever heard it in that stadium. And Went back and watched it, and it sure seemed like it on TV. That place was rocking pretty hard, and that momentum was high, vibes were high. And then what do you know? Brent Venables' awesome, quote-unquote, awesome defense lets Ole Miss drive down 11 plays, 75 yards to just retake the lead. And honestly, it was pretty easy for him. It's pretty easy. I don't know what to do with that. What am I supposed to do with that? And like and listen, we'll get to John Mateer and everything. Mateer sucked in this game. He's bad. Mateer's not who we thought he was. He's not a bad player. I still think he's a pretty good player. But he's not the same guy he was in September as he is now. He's not the same guy. He's missing a lot of stuff. He's not playing winning football right now. I don't know, man. I'm really disappointed with the defense in really high leverage moments of that game. Really disappointed in it.
Yeah, so like whenever the identity is defense and Brent Venables, yeah, like they're allowed to make mistakes here and there because Ole Miss is really good, but you're going to be expected to make some plays, especially when the game starts to go your way. They did get 1 3 and out. I got off the field. But then, yeah, you're right. Right when they got the lead, they gave it back up. And it's just there's too many instances in that game where the defense made it really easy on Ole Miss's offense. And it's partly because Ole Miss is really well coached. Lane Kiffin's a really good offensive mind, but also it's because Brent Venables' defensive scheme allows coaches to make it really easy on them with the way he plays sometimes, with the way he gives too much cushion, or the way just quite frankly, the way whenever he calls them to play any sort of zone defense and how the middle of the field has no clue what they're supposed to do and lets guys just run through the zone unmolested, not even following, not even locked. I mean, Oklahoma's defensive backs and linebackers, safeties and linebackers are really good at watching the quarterback's eyes apparently, but nobody else. And there's always just wide open guys running through people. And depending on who you listen to, certain other people think that that's not that big of a deal. It's a huge deal. It's awful defense is what it is. It's unforgivable. And so that's a huge problem, and Ole Miss can get it whenever they want. It's just what I was going to get at. I mean, this has come up before, maybe once or twice on the show. Like, I know Lincoln Riley. Everybody hates Lincoln Riley. His teams were very limited. The ceiling was not there because the defenses were so bad. The thing, I think if this is notable, Brent Venables' defenses, Oklahoma, which he's known for, have never been anywhere as good as Lincoln Riley's offenses were at Oklahoma. If Brent Venables' this defense was as good as name it, 2016, 16, 17, 18, even 19, those Oklahoma offenses, then they get off the field a bunch there and they clamp down on Ole Miss. It was that good of like the offense statistically. And I know it's kind of a weird analogy, but it makes sense to me. And I guess Brent Venables gets credit for putting out an offense that's not that good, but also it's not as bad as last year. And it's definitely a more functional offense, really, with the exception of maybe one season of Lincoln Riley's defense being somewhat functional, 2020. So at least Brent Venables' offense is functional and can score from time to time. But then the fact that your side of the ball and your defense is not as good as how good Lincoln's offenses were. This is such a random thing, I know, but in my brain, this makes sense. Like, that's just another thing of like, man, not that I'm saying I want Lincoln Riley back coaching Oklahoma. I don't, but it bothers me that Venables is so into his side of the ball. We've talked about it ad nauseum on this podcast, and he's good at it. He's good at calling the plays, but it's not the best defense in the country. And Lincoln Riley's OU offenses were consistently the best offense in the country, with the exception of 2019 when Joe Burrow and company were doing their thing. So I guess my point is, all the way around as I ramble on, if Brent Venables' defense was the number one defense in the country, they win that game. They get off the field. They stop Ole Miss a lot more than they did, even with the offense playing as poorly as it did. So, like, I know the defense is good. It's a good defense. It needs to be better, though. It needs to be better.
I think you're right. The defense is good. It's really good, too. I would say it's really good. This is 2025. Good offense beats good defense 95% of the time. period. And Ole Miss's offense is really good. And so, I thought Lane Kiffin was at the very least just one step ahead of Brent Venables the entire game. And you can see it in, I mean, Lane Kiffin was toying with Venables in the substitution stuff and everything. I mean, it was just, he was in his bag, and it was just, Vinny just didn't have any sort of answer for it. And so, and you know, they made some plays, and Ole Miss also gave some stuff to OU also.
Yeah.
So Ole Miss didn't play a super clean game.
Ole Miss,
there was a lot of there's a lot of head scratching stuff on their end too. Yeah,
two wide open touchdowns they missed on.
They did, and so I don't know. It's disappointing game, and it's like it's at the point. It's like I don't really know. I don't know what you want from me. Like it's Venables. He's not going to get fired this year. He's not going to. So I don't think I don't think this podcast this season is gonna turn into what it was. He should have been fired last year after the LSU game, but they didn't. They didn't do it, and they're gonna kind of have to live with it. And you know what? They bring back a lot of dudes as of right now. A lot of guys from this team are gonna be back next year. That's if they can retain them and whatnot. And so it's gonna be. I don't know if it makes sense to make a change, which is unfortunate to me because I think what we said last year is if you don't do it now, it's just going to make it way harder to do it in the future. And
well, I'm not even going to get there yet because still technically, and I talked about this with Brady on our last show. I mean, as disappointing as that win or that loss was, Oklahoma was allowed to play better on Saturday and beat Tennessee and be 7-2, and then you still have the whole season ahead of you. It's unlikely,
it's unlikely, but also like, come on, you know they're not winning that game on Saturday.
See, but until it actually happens, to me, the way it works, like, I mean, why not? I mean, John Mateer played bad. He's still capable. He's still better than anything they had last season. So, and they bounced back, even though South Carolina is not that great. Oklahoma bounced back against South Carolina, and South Carolina, to their credit, they pushed Alabama. I did not see that coming last week. So South Carolina had some juice. So all
I saw that coming. I told you that was going to happen.
Yeah, I know, but I didn't see it coming. And I'm always right.
Alabama's way overjuiced. They're not. Alabama's
well, there you go. I mean, with the way the Oklahoma schedule, as good as these teams are that Oklahoma is playing coming up, I don't know. I mean, maybe they figure something out. So until they lose the next three or whatever like that, I'm disappointed, but we'll see how they play. We'll see how they play against Tennessee. I mean, the defense still is good. The defense can get stops. Maybe they'll get more against Tennessee. Maybe they'll be able to force a turnover.
But I don't know if the defense is good, but I think what this game confirmed a fear that I think a lot of people had about the defense, whether they were saying it publicly or thought it privately or whatever. Confirmed a fear that I think a lot of people had in the first 7 games of the season, which was if the defensive line is not getting home to the quarterback, does their pass defense actually kind of stink? And first game against a really good passing attack and against an offensive line that I thought held up in pass pro like really well. Yeah, I thought OU's pass defense was borderline dreadful at times on Saturday. I mean, just far too many guys running wide open down the middle of the field, and it's odd to say that too in a game in which, and I know you and Brady touched on this, a game in which the corners actually played pretty well. In fact, I thought I rewatched the game just kind of minutes before hopping on here with you. I thought Cortland Guillory was great, clearly the best game of his career so far. Eli Bowen didn't notice him a whole lot. I think he got kind of lost in coverage and zone coverage a few times, but everyone gets lost in zone coverage on a Brent Venables coach defense. So I mean, that's just par for the course. But we'll see. Tennessee has a better passing attack than Ole Miss does. Now I think their system is probably a little bit more basic, is a little bit more straightforward. And we did see Oklahoma put the clamps on their passing game pretty effectively a season ago. That game was in Norman, though.
Save for what, one or two explosives?
Yeah, and the one explosive was an RPO slant over the middle that they just took to the house, and I think it was on like Kenai Walker or something like that. So, who had I'm pretty sure had a pick six against Jackson Arnold that effectively ended Jackson Arnold's Auburn career.
Yeah,
because he was benched right after that. So, so yeah, it's gonna be a huge test. We'll get to Tennessee later, but I don't know where do I want to start here. I thought Isaiah Sategna's touchdown in the first half was really cool. That was sweet. That was like I don't know if the text got through because you guys were pretty clearly in the stadium, and so I got a bounce back text, but I texted something to you and Brady along the lines of like, 2024 John Mateer appears. And I was like, that looked like John Mateer that I watched on tape from a season ago. Him just sort of like directing traffic, and then just with that really, really quick sidearm release, sort of kind of throwing it through traffic, and then Sategna busting it off. That was cool. I was pretty fired up. I was watching it in the at the bar at the casino bar at the hotel we were staying at. I was fired up. It's pretty pumped up.
The casino bar.
Yes.
So
what are you looking at?
I was going back to watch the play because, yeah, I don't know. It was a play where
other people have pointed out that Jaren Kanak was wide open on the other side of the play, also for a touchdown. But I don't know.
He was in the stands. That's what we were all yelling, like, Kanak's open, Kanak's wide open.
Kanak's
the thing is,
always open, except for the one time that he threw the terrible pick against Texas, in which he definitely was not open.
Oh, yeah.
And
yeah, I'm watching it.
A lot of things too. I'm sorry, like I got to go back to, and I'm like it's going to be a lot of grab bag, and why on earth is Caden Helms playing so much? Why?
I don't know.
Because he's a great blocker. Hey, so happy that we allowed Caden Helms to stick around to block.
Why is Caden Helms playing so much? I love that.
I don't like. That's one of those things where like I know like Ben Arbuckle is kind of starting to catch some strays and whatnot, and I don't know. Arbuckle has not been as good as I hoped he would be this year. Things just do not look easy for the offense, and I think, but also at the same time, like this is their run schemes stink. They suck. They're bad. They're real bad. And anytime that they have a tight end in the backfield asking to block anyone, it's for the most part a wasted play. But we're 8 games into the year. We can sit here and we can yell into the sun about it. It's not going to change. It's not going to change. They're just going to keep running that same stuff, and it's not going to work unless Xavier Robinson breaks off a miraculous 65-yard run, in which probably should have been stopped for a 2-yard gain. But he keeps going. That's just a great individual play by Xavier Robinson.
Aside from that run, though, he still averaged 5.5 yards per carry, and they ran the ball well against South Carolina the week before. I don't think their run schemes stink. I think they're maybe not great, but like they can do it. It's just it goes back. They don't. It's the players, man. Xavier Robinson's having a moment, but they don't really have that many good backs. That's all. The huge and man. I mean, I'm far from the first person to point this out, and you're going to point it out. But, I mean, one of my concerns I talked about early in the year is Ben Arbuckle using John Mateer's running as a crutch. I don't know why he's calling him to run so much. It's not working. Like
they need to. It's been bad. It's putting him behind the chains.
Like Mateer's vision's bad. Like he's not seeing it. Like he's not seeing in the passing game. It's my only thing is, like he lost a lot of time because of the injury that got him out of a flow, but he's fine. He keeps saying his hand's healthy. So he missed time. He's not in the groove, and the game's fast, and he's playing really good teams. And he's not used to it. But the thing is, though, he's got an offensive coordinator that does scheme up some good plays for him. He ain't seeing it. And so that's on him, man. Like, those two need to be, like, tied at the hip, watching tape. And Arbuckle, like, dude, what are you looking at here? Like, this is your read. Hit it. The easiest one everyone's talked about in the fourth quarter on fourth down, where he doesn't go to Satania on the whip route. That's like all of us could have made that throw. Could have made that play. It was obvious, and for some reason he took the Giovanni Gibson quarter route. So he's just not seeing it. He's not playing well, and yet with all of that, they still could have won the game, which is pretty wild. But they're very fortunate to even be in that situation.
They were, but also, I mean, they dominated the third quarter. I mean, they went 3 and out on their first possession, and that wasn't.
Oh yeah, that was awful.
That didn't look good, and that was awful. But again, another situation where quarterback run game, putting them behind the chains, not putting them in good, and I'm going to be the one who he's not healthy below the waist. He does not have the same burst or the same wiggle, even as he did against Michigan. He just doesn't, and that's fine. Burn it. Just that's okay. He got beat up.
I mean, why is Arbuckle calling play calls though, like he does? Like I think he is healthy. I just don't think he's not that guy.
No. Go back and watch the Michigan game. Go rewatch the Michigan game. And Michigan's got NFL guys on defense. Michigan is like a legit top 10 defense in college football. He's moving. Like, he can move. And he is not moving in the same way.
He got out of the pocket and picked up like 12 yards in the third quarter of the game on Saturday. He looked just like him. He's not getting out. He's not getting out of the pocket. Like, he's not running it right. Like, he needs to get out first, and he's not doing it. So, like, I just doesn't have it. And also, that should not be a big part of your offense. It's stupid. But then again, if the guy can't see it throwing the ball, then I guess maybe that's why Arbuckle's calling it so much.
Why would you say it's stupid? Chambliss being able to run was a massive part of Ole Miss winning the game.
Chambliss had maybe 2 designed runs in the entire game.
You think
everything else was just scrambling.
I think every time that he kept it on 3rd and long, that was a design run.
No, that's not true at all. No.
Yeah.
No, there was like one on 3rd and long where they dropped back and he did a little quarterback draw, and then I'll give you maybe there's one more. But no, most of his running was all just scramble, extending plays, and picking up first downs. And Oklahoma's defense allowed him to do it.
Indeed. So, I don't know. It is what it is. It was a game that OU just really needed to win. They really needed to win that game. And Ole Miss came out with more urgency, and they just and Ole Miss is better. Ole Miss is a better team. They're just a better team, and they came out and they proved it over a majority of the game. And it's really disappointing, and it's disappointing knowing that OU still, even with that bad loss to Texas, still had realistic path of everything just right in front of them. You could talk yourself, they go 10-2. They're hosting a playoff game at night against who knows who, and they couldn't win this one game that they had, because this game is more winnable than Saturday at Neyland. It is, it was, and it's a disappointing thing, and because one little dirty thing that I don't think a lot of people are acknowledging so far, and what is one thing that everybody agreed on about Oklahoma coming into the season? That schedule is brutal, man. Their first 7 games were not brutal at all. Their first 7 games set up about as perfectly as you possibly could. And then you finally get to the tough part of your schedule, and the game's at home. And
5.5 point favorites.
So
5.5 point favorites, man. I mean, that's a big favorite. Like, over a really good Ole Miss team.
Mm-hmm.
And they had so many things going for them, as we all laid out in the pregame podcast, that you and I were kind of like, okay, yeah, it makes sense. I kind of get now why the number's that way. Didn't matter.
Because I kind of because I figured going into this season that the schedule probably would not turn out as brutally difficult as it seemed on paper. I just figured there's just no way. Some teams are going to be nowhere near as good as you think. Now, it really surprised me that one of the teams that turned out to be not really any good at all is Texas. That surprised me. And now you look at, like, they're going to be playing Missouri with Missouri's third-string quarterback in Norman in 3 weeks. They're going to be playing an LSU dumpster fire in the last game of the season. Ole Miss is better than I anticipated them being at the beginning of the season. Alabama's worse than last year. Alabama's not as good as last year. They're way more lucky than they were last year. But Alabama's not better than they were last year. Auburn is worse than they were last year.
I mean, Alabama's probably better. I think their offense is functioning a lot better than it did last year.
Not really.
Scoring a lot of points, aren't they?
Yeah, they're
winning games.
Alabama last year scored a lot of points. But but yeah, it's their comparatively though, I mean, it's not so last season's schedule far more brutal than this year has turned out to be. And OU's 6-2. And honestly, they're probably going to be 7-5, 8-4. Those are probably their two most likely finishes of record. It's just it's disappointing. They had the world in front of them, and they even took the freaking lead in the third quarter and brought it into the fourth quarter.
Well, in an era where Oklahoma does have a really good defense for the first time in a while, and the SEC is really tough top to bottom, but I mean, no one's arguing there's like one awesome elite, awesome team. Like, it's all these games are winnable, and yet Oklahoma can't take advantage of it. And it's not even just the SEC; it's across all of college football. They can't. I mean, it's a great moment to be a little bit better than like all of like the top teams. And Oklahoma has a great defense, but yet still can't figure out how to be up there. But then again, like, hey, they could win out. They probably won't. They could. They're allowed to.
They're allowed to. It's not. I mean, before Xavier Robinson's touchdown run in the third quarter, his first one, the long one. And I know this because they flashed it up on the screen of the replay I was just watching. OU had 12 yards rushing before that run. How on earth was the game? Like, OU's not like. I like to think that their offensive coaches aren't stupid. They knew that Ole Miss had the worst run defense in the SEC. They knew that even Georgia State ran it on them this year. They knew that. How is the number one game plan in this game not going through every single one of your games up to this point and finding all of the run plays that you've had the most success on and saying, this is our game plan. This is what we are doing. Everything that we are doing is based on these.
I don't know, especially considering they really needed to ball control it and keep Ole Miss's offense off the field, and it was the exact opposite. And it's just the only game it's been good was against Michigan. They did a good job of controlling the football against Michigan, but Auburn wasn't good, and I can't remember what the Texas one was. Probably wasn't good against Texas either. I mean, OU didn't have the ball like really at all in the entire third quarter against Texas.
Yeah, they ran 3 plays in the third quarter,
and it wasn't good against Ole Miss.
So
gotta be better.
It's a Vinny L down the line. I mean, all of the hallmarks of his losses: undisciplined play, penalties, being situationally awful. There was one, like, I made a mental note on this one. There was on the drive that Ole Miss goes down to retake the lead. They have them 3rd and 9 on Ole Miss's side of the field. The guys on the field, I just want to like list off from memory some of the guys who are on the field for a really important 3rd and 9 to get you the ball back with the lead in the fourth quarter. The defensive line was P.J. Adeborough, Marvin Jones Jr., Marcus Strong, and Jaden Jackson. Now, Jaden Jackson's a terrific player. He's great. But other than that, you don't have you have any of your three best pass rushers on the field in that scenario. You got freaking Owen Heineke playing the middle of the field, dropping back, and just being completely lost, totally lost in coverage. And he's the one, the guy, the true freshman who was their leading receiver, who we spent 5-10 minutes talking about how deep and how spread out their receiving core was. That's a guy who had like 38 yards receiving on the season coming into that game. And he goes off for 4 for 111. And so it's just like situations like that just drive me nuts. Drives me absolutely crazy. Why on by far the biggest 3rd and long that your defense has faced the entire season up to this point? Why isn't Armason Thomas and Taylor Wine not on the freaking field, man?
Wait,
Kendall Daniels wasn't on the field.
Explosive play? Was this the explosive pass play over the middle of the field, like on the deep over?
Which one?
We're talking about the drive where they took the lead to 31-26. They were never in 3rd and 9. Well, they were in 3rd and 8, but it was in the red zone. They were in 2nd and 9. And then they hit that 40-yarder to Winston Watkins. Is he the freshman you're talking about?
Yeah, maybe this is the.
So, but to your point though, if those are the personnel on the field, I mean, the idea probably was on 3rd down they were probably going to sub all those guys in, and then heck, Lane would have probably gone fast and gotten Oklahoma on a substitution penalty.
You know what? I do think, now that you've mentioned this, I think this is when it was 25 to. Where is it? Was it? This may have been right after OU. Yeah, this is when it was 22-13. I think. Now that I'm thinking about it, because I'm now seeing it in my head of the direction that Ole Miss was going, and that would have been the 3rd quarter. So I think it was. I do think it was 22-13 at that point. That was when OU goes down and holds into a field goal. Say like a 3rd and 9. It's to Watkins over the middle of the field, probably for like. It's like 16 or 17.
Okay, yeah, I see it now from the 27. Yeah, 3rd and 8. Chambliss completes over the middle, short middle. I hope you're sitting down to Winston Watkins for 15-yard gain, and then they went down and kicked a field goal. So that was after, like Lane, essentially gifted Oklahoma with the ball in the red zone, which I think other people have pointed out that he was right to go for because Oklahoma didn't do anything with the ball.
Yeah. Well, no, if you have a good offense, you should always go for it on 4th and 1 unless you are inside of your own 10-yard line. That's essentially what it should be. How does OU not score after that? How do they not score after that? Not score a touchdown, that is?
Right. Touchdown. Yeah.
Oh my, and not only that they go backwards.
I'll give I'm sure a lot of you have listened to the Oklahoma Breakdown podcast, and that is a doozy of a podcast. I have many thoughts on it, which I will not share here because I'll share some of them though. Gabe pointed out that first play of that ensuing drive where Mateer, they do quarterback power, doesn't do anything. Mateer should have followed his blockers, doesn't, decides to roll out, and that's the one he decides to throw it to Giovanni Gibson. Dude, it's a run play. There's guys downfield. It's a penalty. What are you doing? And Gabe was yelling at that because he's right. But it's just, you're committing you throwing the football is immediately putting your team backwards. Just take the yardage and go to 2nd down. You can't throw the ball. It's a run play. There's linemen downfield. Even if it would have been a completed pass for a touchdown, it wouldn't have counted. How do you do that as a quarterback? I thought he's a veteran player. That's a really stupid move. Eesh. And he's trying to do too much. Play within the system, man. Ben A. Get your guy. Corral him.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It'd be funny if it wasn't heartbreakingly horrifying.
So here's the last thing on this for me, I guess, until we think of something else. Going into that game, I was actually pretty confident Oklahoma was going to win. It was kind of a weird feeling because all the things they had going for them, and then they lose. But the way I consume these games with Brent Venables as head coach, it's very similar to how I've consumed a lot of games, and I watched the Chicago Bears over the years. It's like, well, that's just kind of where they are. Like, they're not going anywhere. But hey, if they play well, that'll be a nice little day for Lee. It's like that's kind of where we are with Oklahoma, and the fact that we're going into November and they're still alive mathematically, unlike last year at this time when it was just, what are we doing here? Like, this is awful. It's like, well, we got another Saturday ahead of us where it's like, well, I don't know, don't have very high expectations, but technically this team, their ceiling can be pretty high, so maybe they'll surprise us and maybe they'll win.
They're going into Neyland at night as a blackout. They're going to get run off the field. Everyone knows it. Come on. Like, come on.
I mean, let's see if they have a little bit of pride coming back from another loss.
Hey, second straight weekend where I have attended a blackout. Didn't go very well the first weekend. I would be shocked if it is in the same vein as Minnesota Iowa from a few days ago. That would be pretty shocking. And
this is the tough thing is I don't have. We're recording this earlier than normal, so I haven't had the typical time to prepare. But I just don't have anything on Tennessee.
How about this? Their offense is really good and their defense is pretty mediocre.
Well, it kind of sounds like what Oklahoma faced last week.
Their defense is decidedly more mediocre than Ole Miss's is. Ole Miss was actually pretty good. With Ole Miss, it was just their run defense. They're pretty good in every other metric. So,
really,
yeah. There's the Tennessee's defense does one thing well. They rush the passer really well. They're fourth in the country in sacks. They have 27. OU's tied for second with 29. Everything else, they're pretty meh. So yeah, Tennessee is if they're not getting home, kind of like a lot like OU. They get, well, yeah, not because OU hasn't really gotten gashed really at all this year until a few days ago. But yeah, it is what it is. But the thing is, though, it's like I'm gonna go watch it. Like I still think Joey Aguilar is not particularly good. I think he is. I think Josh Heupel is a really good offensive mind. And I think he's really good at getting numbers out of his quarterbacks. But yeah, Aguilar, I guess and maybe I'm not putting enough stock into Joey Aguilar's ability to just throw out a total stinker. So that could happen, but also Aguilar could come out and he could look like he did in the first half against Tennessee or against Georgia, where he just could not miss at all. I mean, we know we know what Tennessee's going to do. They're going to do what OU should do on every snap. They're going to spread out the defense from sideline to sideline, and they are either going to throw the ball really deep down the field, throw a slant, or run inside zone. They're going to do one of those three things.
That sounds pretty easy to stop, honestly.
Well, that offense typically becomes easier to stop the deeper we get into the season. And Tennessee just, they come out playing a Kentucky team, which their season ended when they lost in overtime to Texas the week before. So that was an easy. That's the one game I made money on Saturday. I was taking Tennessee in the points was quite easy.
Wait, what were they laying?
Oh, no, I think they were. Did I say that wrong? They were just 7.5 point favorites.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was pretty easy. But also there was a lot of other ones that I probably thought were pretty easy that didn't go my way on Saturday. Oof, took an absolute bath in the.
Yeah, so did I. It's not been Not been good of late.
College football gambling's not as fun anymore. The lines are way better. It's like impossible to find value. It's just like the lines now are as good as the NFL lines. So it's way harder. But trying to think of any other stuff that I had on Ole Miss other than it was just a really disappointing game. And like, why couldn't OU come out and just play like their one awesome game of the season in that one?
I don't know. Maybe they're saving it for one of these last 4, but they should really mix in some other games where they play awesome. I don't know. It's tough. I mean, it's so you go into the season, everyone's so excited. We haven't seen football in months and months and months, and now we've seen 8 games, and it's just flown by so fast, and we're in a moment where it's like, well, I guess here we go, as opposed to. Coming on here, Oklahoma's like 7-1 or 8-0. We're just like, all right, man, here we go. Like, let's break this one down. Where we are. But it's just like, well, there's another year of kind of like we know what we're gonna get, and hopefully they play better. I'm sorry, guys. Like, I know that we made our like we want to be like more in depth and actually have good thoughts and stuff in these pre-games. This is not the episode for it, unfortunately. I don't have anything for you on Tennessee. It's just I wish I did, but I don't.
Well, I mean the schedule is forcing the hand. I mean you and I are going to be in Knoxville on Saturday.
Well, that's the plan. We'll see if hopefully that happens.
Okay, we'll talk about that off air. You keep hedging. I'm starting to think that you're going to abandon me while I go to Knoxville.
I'd love to be there.
Okay.
I gotta find a Halloween costume. It's gonna be Halloween on Friday.
Oh, we're adults. Don't worry about a Halloween costume.
Well, we're going to a bachelor party. That's the plan.
Yeah, I know.
The bachelor wants to dress up.
Yeah, I know, but but if it's something that you're stressed out about, that shouldn't be something
stressed.
that you should be. What?
I'm not stressed. The only thing I get stressed about is watching Oklahoma try to play coverage in the secondary. That bothers the heck out of me. I will say, I do want to say this one thing about the Ole Miss game that's bothering me. The last Ole Miss touchdown they scored on the tight end throwback, the really nice play design by Ole Miss that really would have beaten all defense. It's not just OU's defense. That's really nice play design. That's exactly the way it's drawn up. It's designed to beat the backside corner who is supposed to have the flats there in zone. When there's nobody in the flats, the corner's supposed to sink deep and help out behind. That's exactly what the corner does. Lane knew that dragging the tight end across into that spot would likely result in a wide open throw for Chambliss, which it did, and it was an easy touchdown. That's just good offense right there. And don't let anybody else tell you that that's not, because it was. That was a very well drawn out offensive play that Ole Miss executed perfectly.
What's up with Ole Miss taking Chambliss off the field in inside the 10-yard line?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's stupid. Why would you do that? That's dumb.
I think Brady was saying that he'd heard that apparently they've done this before because maybe Chambliss is not as good in the red zone or something. I don't know. But like that, I'm with you. I mean, it ended up not mattering, but yeah, I mean, I think Chambliss probably hits the tight end in the end zone on that first one where Simmons missed, probably because
Simmons just airmails it just
from like
absolute
10 yards away. I mean, it's just like, just drop it in, man. The guy's wide open because Oklahoma's safeties never play pass first. It's always run. Congrats. You guys are great against the run. Your main job is the pass. Your main job is the pass.
Man, Heupel is going to dial up. He's going to chuck it deep so much on Saturday night. He's going to force. He's going to force. I almost said just the safety, but no, he's going to force Robert Spears Jennings to cover guys really, really deep down the field. Because I think Peyton Bowen can do it. RSJ cannot do it.
He's put a lot of really, really poor coverage assignments on tape of late, and I really do think. I mean, my theory is that's why we've seen a lot more Michael Boganowski this year than maybe we expected, because they got to get RSJ off the field from time to time. but I don't know how much better he is in pass coverage. We saw him against South Carolina. Boganowski just on the arm punt, not getting his head around and committing a PI.
Do you think they? Do you think I don't know? We're going to be into November on Saturday, and you're right. Technically, OU still has all of their goals like ahead of them. They can, they went out. Yeah, of course. I mean, they're going to be right there. You think Vinny tightens up those rotations on defense a little bit, or
no?
Think we're still going to see Jaden Hardy and Michael Boganowski and Owen Heineke and Marcus Strong on when they're down by 9 in the third quarter when a touchdown effectively ends the game.
Well, I think Heineke was kind of a necessary part,
and McKenzie, because I know McKenzie got hurt.
And Heineke's fine, but he's just a long line of OU linebackers that don't know what they're doing. I'm
going to push back. I don't. I think Owen Heineke is pretty clearly a net negative when he's on the field. It's a long. I mean, September was a long time ago. He hadn't made a play in a long time.
Yeah, he batted down a pass, got after Chambliss once or twice in the game. It's just when you're seeing him, like all the other linebackers in the middle of the field, not really do anything in coverage, and seeing guys just run behind him in wide open windows, and he doesn't do anything about it, along with other of his teammates. Then I think it probably paints a picture of
if you're gonna ask linebackers to play zone on third and gotta have it situations, can you at least just throw Kendall Daniels out there, and so it's him doing it and not anyone else, even though he's not technically a linebacker anymore? Can you just please just put him out there?
I don't know, man. I don't think they. No, I do think, I know Arbuckle was talking today and said that you're going to see a whole lot more Xavier Robinson. I know Brady is very worried that we're not going to see Xavier Robinson a whole lot. I understand Brady's concerns considering the history of the running back position and the position coach, but I do. It's been Xavier Robinson and Torrey Blaylock the last 2 games exclusive. Xavier Robinson's going to play, and he's gonna get stuff unless something freaky weird happens. Disappointed that Blaylock. I know he got banged up at the first play of the game. Blaylock was not good on Saturday. He shouldn't have been playing. It should have just been all Xavier Robinson, probably from the first quarter on. Torrey didn't do anything. He was not very good at all. But he's allowed to have a bad game. He's had a good season.
We haven't talked at all about maybe that 4th and 2 in the first half. Maybe pound for pound, the worst offensive play call I've ever seen.
Wait, is it that, or is it Lane's 4th and 1 on his own side of the field? Which one?
Oh, I said before we got on that those two are in the car making out together. Those were 2 just awful play calls. The correct decision on both of them to go for it, just dreadful play calls. Dreadful play calls.
Yeah.
I
don't know what Oklahoma was doing.
Yeah, Arba, you got running boot to the short side of the field. None of your best players are on the field. You took them all off.
At that point, they should have just taken Mateer off and put Michael Hawkins back there too. Why not?
It's Mateer. Okay, Mateer under center, which he's probably done 3 or 4 times since high school, maybe, and just in a situation like that. You have 2 tight ends on the field, the worst position group at OU in a century this season, maybe. And not only is one of the tight ends not the good tight end, Jaron Kanik, who is still maybe the best pass catcher on the team, even though whatever, they don't throw him the ball anymore. No, it's Caden Helms and Carson Kent. Caden Helms, who I think on Saturday was playing his 3rd important college football game of his career, maybe. Every any time that he gets in right now is still one of his first college football games of all time. And Carson Kent, and you throw out Zion Kearney and Ivan Carrione to play their only snaps of the game. What? Come on. That's some 2023 running back rotation tomfoolery is what that was.
On top of that,
you got Arbuckle after the game saying, "No, we repped that in practice. It was a good play."
I wish somebody would have followed up and asked, is part of the play design not getting any sort of hat on the rush end that's going exactly towards your quarterback who's rolling out? Like, again, like I pointed out in the last episode, if they would have blocked him, if one of the guys would have blocked him, it still wouldn't have mattered because nobody was open. Ole Miss's secondary, it was a two. There's 3 guys on the concept. The third guy, though, was on the backside coming across. It would have taken a long time for it to get there. So it was essentially a 2-man route, and both, like, the high-low was both covered. Like, it wasn't even open.
It's like, I don't know. Tell me if I'm totally off base here, but if I'm an Ole Miss defender in that situation and I have played football before, which I assume all of them have, Oklahoma, which is an air raid-ish team that takes 99.9% of their snaps in the shotgun. John Mateer gets under center on 4th and 2. What do you think is going to happen there? You think he's going to turn around and hand it off? No, he's very obviously going to fake and then boot. Of course that's what he's going to do. Why else would you even get in that look? It's a silly thing. Whatever. They still, like, all of that notwithstanding, they still somehow took the lead in the third quarter, and they still somehow lost the game. I don't know how you capture the momentum that aggressively. You're at home, and you still lose the game. This is college football, man. They still lost that game.
Hey, for the record, and I may be either the worst person for this or the best, because, I mean, I have been to a good amount of football games and atmospheres, and I mean, I've been to a lot of games at Kyle Field, been to a ton of games at Gaylord Family, at Owen Field, obviously, been to the Cotton Bowl. It was loud. It was, but it's all the same, man. Like, ain't nothing getting louder and more raucous than 2008 Texas Tech. Nothing touching it. It might have been maybe the loudest it's been for an 11 a.m. game, maybe. But I think when people do that stuff, it's in the moment. Just you want to feel like, no, man, I've been to, like, I know everyone that says it too, they've been to a lot as well. So have I. It's loud. It's not any different than it is any other time. It's loud. But again, like 08 Texas Tech, that was different. That was different, man. And it mixed in because the music was playing and it went on and on. I mean, we were there. It went on like for minutes. I mean, it just, and nothing like that on Saturday. No, it's like the roar of the crowd, and then, it goes back to, 5-10 seconds later back to where it is. A little bit of a buzz, but so anyways, not to pour I said not to urinate into everyone's cereal, but it was loud. It wasn't anything out of the ordinary though. That's the way it's supposed to be. Gosh, I had one other thing too, but I'll try to remember it.
Let's see here. We haven't talked about the safety in the first half.
And all the things that led to it that people have pointed out, which it's all correct.
Yeah, it's all dumb. I mean, illegal formation. I mean, the fact that teams get illegal formation penalties is a joke. Like, how are you a Division I football program? It's not even about OU at this point. How are illegal formations a thing? And how does that happen? How does that happen? Somebody tell me.
It takes one guy to be off the line when he's supposed to be on the line. But coming also, out of a timeout, like first play of the series, and you line up wrong. And it's unclear which person was lining up wrong. The broadcast seemed to think it was Satania. I tend to think it was either him or Carson Kent. It was. I think,
who can say?
And honestly, there was honestly a sixth guy in the backfield because Michael Fasusi was way the heck off the ball, and it was a run play. It was a run play going back. He was lined up almost in the backfield, and honestly, I kind of thought they got him on it. But by the way, he's a freshman, whatever. But he had a rough game.
He did.
He got beat more than he'd like.
He had a rough game, but also a game in which. Yeah, but also a game in which, and I went back and rewatched it again, for the most part, the offensive line was pretty good in pass protection again. Outside of a handful of reps, I thought Mateer had a lot of time to throw. Man, his pocket awareness is real bad. It's real bad.
It comes back to he doesn't know what he's seeing, man, and that's disappointing. I really thought. I mean, this is third year in this offense. Like, imagine if Dylan Gabriel looked this out of sorts 8 games into the season in 2022, or maybe 23, which would ever have been the equivalent of the same amount of time in Levy's offense. Like, no, I mean, Gabriel, I mean, every once in a while he'd have like a rough series or two, but he was always just like comfortable, knew what he was doing. Mateer looks so out of sorts. Looks out of sorts. Got to play better.
He does.
It's not his. It's not his hand. I don't think it's his hand, man. Although I will say the Hail Mary, the last throw, like that didn't have any juice on that ball. Didn't even get it.
I think so. I believe him when he says that his hand like doesn't hurt and it doesn't. Like, I'm sure it doesn't. And I'm sure he's got so much adrenaline anyway that he wouldn't feel it anyway. But like mentally, it can affect you. Like, for sure.
You're right.
Like, I think it's a violent sport. And if you're a quarterback, as soon as you start like actually thinking, I think you're screwed. Like, your thinking should all be done in your prep before the game, and then you're just reacting to everything. You should be, but also that's for like a quick processor, and I mean, the last 3 games he does not look like a quick processor. It looks like he doesn't look like much of a processor at all. And so,
and the thing is, that's really hurting. Like Ole Miss, and I can't remember as much with South Carolina. And I guess we'll see about Tennessee. I just haven't watched much Tennessee. Ole Miss's defense, the way they line up, they don't give up free yards. They don't give that up. So there's not that like easy little crutch. Like, okay, like Venables' defense does from time to time, and Ole Miss was happy to take it. And that's the other thing is I talked about with Brady. It's like Chambliss looks good and plays well, but like Lane gets the ball out of his hands. The offensive line doesn't need to hold up very long, and that's the way to mitigate that pass rush. Tennessee's going to do the same thing, man. You got to adjust. Like Josh Heupel, Aguilar's going to get the ball out of his hands, man. Like they're going to run it. They got to stop the run again. I think they stopped the run pretty well last year, right, against Tennessee?
Yeah,
if I remember correctly.
Did. And that was Tennessee's offense last year. They ran the ball really well. Once they got in the SEC play, they couldn't really throw it at all. So I guess in that sense, I think Aguilar is an improvement over Nico. But we'll see. I saw Aguilar's only been sacked 8 times this year, so their offensive line holds up pretty well in protection and whatnot. So that's gonna be an interesting game. Like I said, I don't this. I think from our perspective, this game's more about Oklahoma than it is about Tennessee, and we'll see. I mean, they're gonna have to take the fight to them, and they can't. Can't give Tennessee 12 yards of cushion. Can't do it. But they're going to, because that's Vinny's defense.
Anytime they have either Michael Boganowski or Robert Spears Jennings or even Peyton Bowen like singled up in a safety spot, 9 to 10 yards off the ball. I mean, the offense has them right where they want them. Like, and that's not to say like they should be making I mean, that's a hard spot to be in for any safety. But especially for this defense, man. Like, it's just they're just immediately put in a bad spot because they're going to be playing some sort of man or like some sort of quarters, which can turn into man.
Unless they go into the look we haven't really seen a whole lot this year. They go into the 3 safety umbrella look, which they were in a lot last year. They haven't really, but they haven't had to do it this year because they've only played one good offense. And all right. Well, you want to talk about what do you think's going to happen?
Saw their OU's a 3.5-point dog. I mean, what do I want to see? I want to see Oklahoma's defense shut down the pass better than Ole Miss. I mean, I don't know. It's nothing crazy. Like, you got to just play better, play better defense. How about this? I'll be more specific. At opportune times, when you got teams in 3rd and long, get off the field. Get off the field. Sure, they're going to hit 1 or 2, but stop giving up 3rd and 9s, 3rd and 8s, 3rd and 10s. Get off the field. It's the easiest time to get off the field.
Get up in the receiver's grill, knock him off the route, and blitz Aguilar to death. Just,
jeez, like
what they should have. Which in retrospect they should have done to Arch. They should have just been in the grill of the receiver's face, and just, here you go. We're sending 6 or 7. Good luck. Godspeed.
At this point, I'm fine with that. So that's. I don't think they're going to be able to get after Aguilar. I mean, he said he's only been sacked 8 times. That Heupel knows, like, it's going to be the same kind of game plan. I guess go back and look at last year. How many times did they get to Nico last year? I don't even remember. I mean, they put a lot of pressure on him.
Yeah, they put a lot of pressure on him.
That's right. That's right.
But that's the bit, though, is that the reason why it becomes a lot easier to stop that offense the further into the season that it goes is because that's a one-read offense. Is because if you can diagnose what the first read is, you can basically end the play. And
yeah, but they played him so early in the year last season.
They did,
yeah,
but
right,
also
I do remember them getting to Nico a decent amount.
But Tennessee's offense wasn't very good last year. It was their offensive line was a veteran group, and Dylan Sampson was a really good player, and they just kind of leaned on that. And Tennessee's defense was terrific a season ago. Not as much this year. So
yeah. 3 sacks, 9 TFLs last year for OU's defense.
And I think it is what it's a road game. You got to run the ball. You got to keep Tennessee's offense off the field, and you got to harass Aguilar. This is OU's only chance to win the game is if they run the ball relatively well, and if they're getting home on Aguilar. That's what their defense is. If their defense isn't getting home, they can be had. And so we'll see.
Well, if it's not getting home, they got to cover in the back end. Because that means that they're probably getting the ball out fast. Because I think if Tennessee's going to hold on to the ball and call some deep, long developing plays, they'll probably get home. But that's not what Heupel calls. Like you said, it's a one-read offense. So they got to cover in the back end. I mean, hopefully the corners play well again. I wonder if Gentry Williams will be healthy. I don't know. But they didn't really need him last game. There were a couple of times, though, where Davon Jordan and Jacoby Johnson were playing, and it just didn't really make any sense. It's like, just please leave. Eli Bowen and Cortland Guillory are both playing pretty darn well. Just leave them on the field. Why are we getting other guys reps? Like, the other guys have not shown that they're some awesome players. Like, I think Jacoby got 1 series, and he didn't really get tested. So maybe they're trying to mix him in more, but I don't know. Davon Jordan got picked on, gave up a first down on 3rd and long.
Although Ole Miss's offense was on the field for the entire game. So.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah,
we'll
maybe
see.
they were tired. Sure.
It'd be pretty sweet if they go into Neyland and win. But I think most fair-minded OU fans know that is going to take a pretty special effort that we have not seen in the Brent Venables era so far. If they were to go in and win that game, it would just be, I think, just a really huge surprise, real big surprise. And that's
How about
to
this
say
number,
that, like,
though? How
what
about the
about the
number?
number?
I mean, it's a little shorter than you'd think, huh? I mean, 3.5.
Yeah, but like these are all on models and stuff like that, and still, like, the models I don't think really love Tennessee that much.
Just interesting. Because OU was 5.5 over Ole Miss, and Tennessee's only 3.5 at night. I'm not really sure what it means. I think it's worth it. It's just that's different.
I don't think
kind of interesting.
I don't think Vegas sets the lines based on what time of day the game is played.
I don't. But I guess the idea would be that. Actually, I don't know. And then, how about offensively? Obviously, you want Mateer to play better. If Mateer plays well, Oklahoma can win the game. Obviously, can. Hey, I bet if Mateer plays well, OU's probably going to win. He's played pretty poor since he got back from injury. He didn't play all that well against South Carolina. Obviously, against Texas, he was bad. And then, save for a handful of plays against Ole Miss, he was not very good. He's just not seeing it. So if he all of a sudden snaps back to it and can see the field and can hit open receivers and score points, great. But also, hold the ball, man. Hold the ball. Keep the ball away. Run the football.
Do
some damage on the ground.
think I saw a stat today. Tennessee's defense gives up a lot of explosives. I couldn't remember if it was in rushing or passing explosives, but they're like 125th in the country allowing that. Like, I think it was passing. I guess that didn't really bode well because actually, yeah. I mean, OU's passing game is much better than the run game. So, we'll see. And I think they're pretty beat up on defense too. Tennessee's like very injured, and they're just not as. Although you can go look at their. I mean, they have a really. They have a very veteran defensive line. Like I said, they got 27 sacks. Pretty much all of them are from dudes on their defensive line. So, we'll see what happens. My confidence has been shaken quite a bit, and I don't want to come on here and pretend that we don't know what a Vinny coach team is going to look like on the road at night against a good team. Like,
yeah, talked about this. I haven't checked this. Maybe you can check it, but the Venables' record in conference on the road. I came to the conclusion it's 5-8 since he started as head coach. I think that's correct. Somebody out there, if I calculated this in the middle of our last podcast on the fly, so I could be missing a game here and there, but yeah, 5-8 on the road in conference is bad. That's not good at all. So, and now you add ranked opponent at night.
Okay, let's see here. He won only one ranked game in his inaugural season, or one conference road game. That was at Iowa State, his inaugural season. I was at that game. Maybe an omen? Good omen? I don't know. Hey, I personally have been at 2 of his conference road wins. 2-0, baby.
Really?
Yeah, at Iowa State, at Cincinnati.
Oh,
I think the quality of the opponent's a little steeper this time. You think Neyland is a little bit more electric than old Nippert Stadium.
Oh boy. Okay, here we go. 2022, first year, road conference games. Let's count this all out. At TCU, loss. At Iowa State, win. That's 1-1. Now the fun ones. At West Virginia, loss. At Texas Tech, loss. What is that, Grant?
That's 1-3, Lee.
1-3 in his first season. All right, let's go to 2023. Road conference games. You mentioned this one, Cincinnati. That's a win.
Dub.
What's that record now? 2-3. At Kansas, Grant. Do you remember what that game was at Kansas in 2023?
No, can you respond to me? Can you remind me what that was?
Yeah, that was a loss. And then right after that, at Oklahoma State, I think we all remember how that one went. That was a loss. So what is that for this year? 1-2.
Yeah,
and then
2-5 overall.
2-5 overall. Okay, and then at BYU, that was a win thanks to Billy Bowman.
So 3-5.
Okay, we're 3-5. Now let's go to the SEC.
They were 0-4 last year. So
No, they weren't.
on the oh, that's right. They won at Auburn. Easy to forget that one.
Auburn, that's a win. Ole Miss, Missouri, LSU, those are losses. So that's 1-3. So what are we at now?
Yeah,
1,
you were
2,
right.
only. Yeah,
5-8.
5-8.
Well, at South Carolina, 6-8.
No, I think that's 5. It was 1 in 2022, 2 in 2023, 1 in 2024, 1 so far this year.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know why I was
5.
attributing that extra third.
5 conference wins, 5-8. So the next 2 are on the, and that's and I brought this up with Brady, but like that's another reason why last game was so important because like you said earlier, I mean that was the more winnable one. It's at home, all these things going for him. Now the next 2 are on the road. What will happen? Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I don't know. I'm getting a little tired of the whole talking point of like, what did you expect? It's going to be harder to win games in the SEC. Okay. Like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, so
what?
So is Oklahoma just like a 7-5 team now? Is that? I mean, technically, well, no. I mean, 2 of the 3 years they've been 6-7.
So no, it just bugs me. Like, okay, so harder to win games in the SEC. Ole Miss is top 10 team. It's great. Okay, so we're just be like, it's no big deal. It's fine. It's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to tell people obviously how they, and like I think Brady, I like when Brady says stuff like this. Like, I'm not going to tell fans how to fan. I think he's right. I mean, yeah, everyone, this is all for fun. It's entertainment. But you and I, we consume it differently than some. And I think a lot of people that listen to our show probably are along the same lines as us. We get a lot of feedback, and
you're right. I think like in a perfect world, this is all just for fun and entertainment. And if you're the type of fan who is able to like compartmentalize that and able like, good on you. I mean, that's you're a much healthier mental individual than I am. But like also one of my bits on this podcast was always asking the question, are sports important or are they not? And this is like, I know for sure that the way that people react is where it's not just OU fans, not just an OU thing, that it's not just all fun and games. Maybe it should be, but that's not how it is. And just
there's a lot of money, a lot of emotion, a lot of passion put into this stuff.
And I would always hate to assume that like I know other people's lives, but like I would suggest that if you are the type of person who is able to just kind of look at this as an entertainment, you don't get too high or you don't get too low. Like, first of all, why are you listening to us?
You wouldn't listen to this show.
Yeah, and
if that's your thing. Yeah,
and 2, and I would say you got a really great life, real great life.
Okay. Well, it's just like somebody that's not that into sports. I mean, it's happened with me. There's a lot of sports. I mean, there's a lot of sports that I shouldn't say a lot, but like I guess I've heard the World Series is going on right now. Yeah, I was texting my buddy. Like I've turned into person who goes to the grocery store and runs errands while everybody's watching the Super Bowl when it comes to the World Series. Like, I didn't even know it was on. Not interested.
I'm not sure that's like a very good analogy because like you're definitely not that. You're watching the Super Bowl every year. That's a bad analogy. Everybody watches the Super Bowl.
That's not true. There's still always like, because look at the TV ratings. There's always like X amount of people in the world or the country that aren't watching. It's like, what are you doing? And that's not. I mean, sure, it's not a good analogy because the Super Bowl is the biggest event and the World Series is not as big. But in terms of like the not penultimate. That's not the right word. The main Major League Baseball thing that's happening right now.
Penultimate's a cool word, though.
It's a cool word.
If you can find out a way to use it in a sentence, you always sound
how to
like
use it right.
Really cool. Yeah.
Anyways.
All right.
Man, this has been a great show.
It has. I know. I'm sorry, everybody. And part of this is the travel. It's the weird. I've been telling people in my life over these last couple of days that I will not be doing the back-to-back weekend college football trips anytime soon ever again. Maybe if and when I win the Powerball and I can just jet set around the world at my leisure, maybe I would do it in that scenario. But when you have other responsibilities and other things, I would not recommend it.
Yeah. So one more thing that I'm sure all the other podcasts will hit on that as we should at least acknowledge is the Lane Kiffin commenting on Brent Venables, his comments and everything like that. Like, if we were professional podcast producers, we would cue that sound up and play it, but we're not going to do it. I actually did finally watch the clip from Brent Venables because I thought there might be some context, and maybe there still was. As far as like maybe he meant to say something like, before the game started, I thought we were the better team, but then blah blah blah. But anyways, I just wanted to acknowledge that happened. I think I hate like qualifying stuff because I didn't see the whole show. Either way, even Venables just saying that is not a good look because why'd you think you were the better team at any point? Even if you thought that, why would you say it out loud after you just got beat like that? And it was in a game in which Ole Miss made a lot of mistakes too. I mean, they played kind of sloppy at times and gave OU some stuff. And I will acknowledge that the roughing the passer call that extended the drive for Ole Miss was not a good call. That was
that was brutal. Yeah, I hadn't seen that. I'd only seen people talk about that. I actually saw that for the first time like 20 minutes before we started recording. Oof. That was bad.
And it's even worse whenever the Matt Austin, the old Big 12 official guy in the booth, comes in and tries to
get him out of there.
Justify it. Like, oh, maybe it's the hit behind by 6. It's like, that guy he's awful. He is. I think was he the one in there for the Auburn game?
Yes, that was the same crew. And that was he was garbage then. And I will give McDonough credit though. As soon as they cut Austin's mic, McDonough was just like, "Well, that's not who they called the penalty on."
Oh yeah. Good call.
He said it very like condescendingly too, like as in that's BS, dude. Shut up.
Gotta give it to Sean McDonough on that one.
And I'm actually fairly because you brought up the Auburn play too, which I'm gonna go back. OU just found a loophole in that rule, and that's why it wasn't called at the moment. It never would have been a controversy if it wasn't for stupid butt Matt Austin. That's the only reason why it was a thing. Nobody would have. Nobody would have.
He was right. He was right about it. He just didn't explain it correctly. That's my problem. Like dude, your whole job is to clearly explain all of these nuances of the rules, and he couldn't do it. Like he knew the rule, but he could just go onto your computer and find the rule book and read it to us like we did on our show. That's what bothered me so much about that. That's your one job. Your one job is to clearly articulate the rules.
That wouldn't have cleared it up because OU found a legit loophole in the rule. Like we said, OU likely violated the spirit of that rule. They did not violate the rule as it was written.
Yes, no, you're correct about that. And just real time to explain what was going on, like the way I can't even remember. Yeah, like whenever I think people were giving him crap about using body language and stuff like that. That's his fault for saying that because that's not anything to do with the rule. Like that's why he needs to protect himself and actually know how to explain it and like why. Whatever that happened 5 years ago at this point.
Yeah. Anyway, OU is going to need an effort on Saturday in Neyland Stadium that we have not seen once in the Brent Venables era so far. Godspeed.
I mean on the road. Because you could say the Alabama game last year.
Sure. Yeah, on the road. Sure. Fair enough.
And what's their best road win? South Carolina? We just saw it this year, so.
Yes, definitely.
I mean, Cincinnati, we saw it. Cincinnati was not that good. Iowa State was a bad team when they beat them. BYU was not a good team. The fact that they had to scratch and claw to win that game was a problem. That all of them? And Auburn. I get, but Auburn was okay. I mean,
yeah, I guess I think pound for pound that Auburn team is the best team they've beaten on the road. But also you have to factor in that Auburn team has lost games in that way now over the course of 2 seasons. I mean,
Auburn gave it to him. They gave it to him with the pick, the Kip 6.
As Hugh Freeze's Auburn is wont to do. All right, Lee, we will move on to college football as a whole. Relatively weak this week for college football. Not a whole lot of sexy matchups. I mean, gosh, College Game Day is going to be in Salt Lake City for Cincinnati, Utah. So, and we'd be going to a College Game Day game if OU would have won on Saturday. I think that was pretty clearly probably their plan. I mean, obviously it's the ABC primetime game, so that was pretty much always their plan. And then things did not go to plan. Let's see here. There's a couple of games here in the SEC that we're going to pick. These other ones, Mississippi State at Arkansas. That's borderline unwatchable. Actually, maybe not. That could be that. Actually, maybe not. I bet that could be very pointsy. That could be a kind of a stupid, fun game. Actually, the game that I'm thinking of that is borderline unwatchable is Kentucky Auburn. That game, borderline unwatchable. South Carolina, Ole Miss, not particularly sexy either. There would be 2 games that we make picks for. Lee, otherwise around the country, we got 3 games that we're going to pick. The other one here that I threw in there that's not going to be part of our picks is a game that I think most people probably would have had as one of the 5 biggest games of the season before it started. Penn State at Ohio State. Ohio State, 20.5-point favorites. That feels like free money to me.
Maybe. Yeah, I mean, did Penn State win? Have they gotten a win since Franklin got fired?
They have not.
So they haven't won a game since
Well, they just
September?
had a bye, so I think they've only played 4 games. Yeah. So they've lost 4 in a row. They're 3-4.
It's at Ohio State. Yeah, I mean, maybe it is. But
Big noon kickoff.
I am not seeing it well this year, so I'm not going to be very confident about it.
Moving on to our Week 10 picks. You and I, Lee, both had rough weeks last week. You, a little bit better than me. You were 2-3. I was 1-4. I'm speaking of just not seeing it. I'm not seeing it well this year at all. I think the only game that I got was Washington, beating. I believe they beat Illinois by 18 at home. They covered the 4.5-point spread. You were correct on. I believe you were on Vandy over Missouri. You got that one right. And then I'm pretty sure that you were on. Wasn't A&M. Who else were you on? I can't remember now.
Hey, you got 2 wins last week. You had Texas.
Did I take Texas?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, the reason why is because I actually put real money on Mississippi State. So
Well.
you can see why I would attribute that one to as a loss for me, seeing as that it was. I even had when Mississippi State was up by 17 at in like with 9 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, or whatever it was. I was on my DraftKings app, and you know how you can cash it out with everything, and so I could have cashed it out, and I would have recouped I would have won like 95% of like the winnings, what it was. And I sat there for a solid like minute or two and was like, you know what? I should cash this out. I was like, I don't feel good about it. I kind of feel like Texas can come back and make this interesting. Should have done it. I would have had a much better weekend if I would have done that.
You would have been able to recoup that $9,000. Man.
It wasn't quite that much. But it sucked. I hit some decent parlays too, like on that first Thursday night that we got there. Got that, man, loved betting that Georgia State, South Alabama, just college football sickos game, which was super entertaining game. Super entertaining. Even better with money on the line. That Chargers-Vikings Thursday night game, not competitive at all. Really great when you had money on the line, though. It was wonderful. Hit a parlay. It was sweet. And, you know, they say now that you should not do parlays. Just terrible bet. Real bad bet. But, you know, we're not always trying to win. We're just trying to have some fun. I had a pretty good parlay that I had fun with on that one.
That's what the parlays are for. I mean, it's not a good bet. I mean, you can do like little two-teamer, like money line parlays, but you know, like your odds are not that bad, but you're not going to get paid that much. I mean, my fantasy league, we all throw in a leg of a parlay every week and hope it cashes. We all can retire.
I kind of like that.
So I recommend that.
But it makes a lot more sense now that like all of those promos that the betting apps use, they all have to be parlays, like the profit boosts. They all have to be at least like three leg parlays because they know that nobody ever hits on those. But it's fun anyway, and I was able to hit a couple this weekend. So, all right, this week's picks, we are going to start with SEC game of the week. Your Doors, Vanderbilt, traveling to Austin to face Texas. Texas is a 2.5-point favorite. Lee going to be on Vandy for a third straight week?
Nope. I'm on Texas. College football gods don't like us enough to have Vanderbilt win a third or win another game in a row and knock out Texas essentially. So
yeah, and I know I said in my anger following the Red River shootout, I made that Texas was going to lose to Vandy, and I don't feel that way anymore. I think Texas has kind of, unless you could look at it like in the way of that, like Texas has like really just sort of like tempted fate these last 2 weeks, having to go to overtime to beat Kentucky and Mississippi State. 2 games they should have lost both of those games. I mean, obviously they were down by 3 scores in the fourth quarter to Mississippi State. They should have lost. Averaged like under 3 yards per play against Kentucky. I'm gonna go with Texas on this one. There's no rhyme or reason that this is 100%. I've had a really bad year picking games, and I am gonna go against my gut. I'm gonna pick Texas here.
Well, Texas, they survived the back-to-back road games following the OU-Texas game against not great teams, but they survived it. They're still in the same spot as OU. They have everything in front of them, man. And I know you said they're not going to win out, when they beat OU, but
they're not going to. They're not going to beat Georgia. And honestly, Texas A&M is really good. They're not going to beat Texas A&M.
Living in a world in which Texas A&M is going into Death Valley at night and just drumming LSU
and getting Brian Kelly fired.
Yeah, must be cool to be in College Station, old C-Stat these days.
I mean, depending on how you look at it. Also at 11 a.m. on Saturday, your favorite coach in college football, Mario Cristobal, traveling to Dally to take on Southern Methodist University. Miami is a 12.5-point favorite in this game. I'm going to be on the Hurricanes in this one, Lee, because I'm going to go against my gut. Again, my gut says take SMU here to cover, but I will go with Miami because that is by far the less fun outcome. You're going to take the Stangs?
Yeah, I'll take
the Pony Express?
Yeah. Give me Smooth.
All right. Smooth? Hell yeah. The world's largest outdoor cocktail party. I don't think they call it that anymore for PC reasons. Very similar reasons. I'm serious, which is dumb. It's the same reason why they renamed Red River from Shootout, which is like, just go back to it. Who cares? Why are we pretending? Like, we've gotten to the point now where everyone is just calling it Red River because Red River rivalry is hard to say. Like, it's a tongue twister. Just go back to the Shootout. Come on, guys. It's not that hard. There are few things in life that are truly very, very easy. That's one of them. Just go back to the Red River Shootout. Georgia is a 7.5-point favorite playing against Florida. That is a neutral site game, I believe, at Everbank Stadium, where the prestigious Jacksonville Jaguars play. Lee, I'm going to take Florida. I'm going to take Florida in this game.
Really?
Georgia's a good team. Georgia is a good team full of gumption, but they have also been pretty sketch this year. And I have always believed and continue to believe that Billy Napier is a massive clown. And I kind of believe in the full-on coach just got fired. They had a bye week to prepare. DJ Lagway, as far as I know, is still their quarterback and still has a bevy of good receivers that he can throw to. And last time I checked, Georgia is like the worst team in college football sacking the quarterback. And with Lee, OU has 89 tackles for loss this season. That is far and away the most in college football. Georgia has 28 tackles for loss this year.
What? Really?
Yes.
28. I got to fact check this.
It's actually it's pretty crazy if you go and look at tackles for loss on the NCAA website.
Oh my gosh.
OU leads by 16 tackles for loss over the number 2 team.
Oh man. And the number 2 team is Indiana. An actual complete football team.
Indeed.
Georgia is almost dead last in all of college football in TFLs. What year is it? What they have 27. there's only
wow. I actually overinflated them. For a thought I was like, maybe I'm shortchanging them, but like, oof.
There's only 2 teams in all of college football that have fewer TFLs than Georgia. And now we're going to go to Grant to try to guess those 2. I'm just kidding. It's
what conference are they in? There's no way you know the conference.
One's in the Big Ten and one's independent.
Ooh, the Big Ten team, is it Wisconsin?
A little farther out west. So
is it UCLA?
Yeah, that's one of them. I guess the West kind of gives it away because it's not going to be Lincoln Riley's USC team. They probably
or Oregon.
Oh yeah, or Oregon.
What was the other one? What was the other conference?
Independent.
Oh, so it's UMass?
It's Army. It's Army.
Yeah, Army isn't. It's Navy that's in the American. All right, back to the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. Please don't sue us. What? Who are you on? I'm on Florida.
Maybe Georgia. But your handicap's pretty good.
Georgia, I almost said just like you're taking the dogs. I will say one of the commercials this college football season that I really like is that like an Aflac commercial? Or is it State Farm of the guy whose boss has the Georgia mug and he starts barking and that commercial makes me laugh every single time. It's very stupid.
Okay. I don't even know if I've even seen that.
Sick 'em.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. And he's like, "Was that a bad idea or something like that, or should I have checked?"
It's only funny because yes, grown adults in Athens, Georgia, do bark at people, and they still do it, even in Pasadena, California, when you're playing for a spot in the national championship game. Saturday night at 6:30 on historical college football broadcast powerhouse NBC is USC at Nebraska. USC is a 6.5-point favorite. Lee, this tells me it's a weird line. I would not have guessed that USC. I would have guessed they would be a much shorter favorite going on the road, and that tells me I should take the Trojans. So I am going to take your guy Lincoln Riley's squad.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and stick with my Lincoln Riley principle of he's favored on the road. Yeah, I'm going to go against him. So give me Nebraska.
Although I think Nebraska is pretty mediocre. Pretty mediocre, but I guess we'll see. I mean, it's Lincoln at night. Lincoln in Lincoln at night.
Oh, yeah, Lincoln and Lincoln. How about that?
I think the last time that Lincoln Riley coached against Nebraska, unless USC played Nebraska last year, and I've forgotten about it. I don't think that they did. Last time would have been when Lincoln Riley, under his 2021 OU team, underperformed against the best 3-9 team in the history of college football, Nebraska.
Oh, they did play last year.
Did they?
Yeah, in November.
Well,
at the Coliseum.
Oh well, yeah. I gathered that it probably would have been there.
At SoFi Field.
Is that what it's called now? It's not just called the Coliseum. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
That's where the Chargers and the Rams play.
The nightcap on ESPN, 9:15 Central Time kick. It's going to be a 10:15 kick in Knoxville. Jeez. 17th ranked Cincinnati Bearcats on the road playing against Utah. I very obviously deleted the line here, but I'm fairly certain that it is -8.5.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I think I'm going to
Scott
go.
Satterfield was going to get fired.
I do.
He's saving his job this year.
He appears to be.
Like it.
He appears to be. I'm going to go with Cincinnati here. Another thing where I'm just going against my gut because my gut cannot be trusted. And also I watched even though like Colorado's like a pretty bad football team, but I watched Utah just absolutely pound them into oblivion as the nightcap on Saturday night. And I very foolishly, before that game started, I was on Colorado minus 14.5, and I was just like, ooh, that hook. I really like that. They're getting that hook. And that did not go well, so I was like, screw this, and I doubled down at halftime, and I went with the Utah live line at halftime, which was 51.5. And freaking Colorado backdoor covered me, man, late in the fourth quarter.
Wait, what was like the total?
No. Oh, did you not see what the Utah was up 44-0 at halftime.
Oh.
The live line was Utah minus 51.5. And I was just like,
what a degen.
I mean, I don't get a lot of opportunities to be in a legal gambling state. So I had to, and I wasn't ready to go to bed yet. I was like, I'm always.
Hopefully you save some for this weekend.
I ended up ahead. Like I said, I hit that parlay. That parlay was very fruitful for me on Thursday night. But yeah, it was they backdoor covered me. Or like I was really upset about it. Because when I went to bed, Utah was up 53-0, and I was like, Colorado hasn't crossed midfield once in this game. I think I'm good. I think their backup scored a touchdown, unfortunately.
All right. Give me Cincinnati as well. I'll take the Bearcats. Playing like the Big 12 game of the week. Cincinnati's been pretty feisty this year. Keep it a one-score game. Why not?
Yeah, I kind of like that. Yeah, Cincinnati's been good.
It's generic, but
it's been good. Their one L this year was in the season opener. They played Nebraska at Arrowhead Stadium, which was technically a neutral site game, but it was basically just a Nebraska home game in Arrowhead, which means it was a game that Cincinnati probably should have won. Like they were really plucky. Like they outplayed Nebraska in that game, and I think they're having a good season. So like I like Utah to probably win that game, but I think Cincinnati can keep it close. And we'll see what happens. Maybe I can turn this thing around. I'm 21-29. You think I can get back to 500? Probably not. But we'll see.
There's still time. Boy, what a time. I do love this time of year, though. I like the Halloween time. Although I have not seen as many like fun Halloween commercials like I normally do. Maybe I need to watch more television. I like whenever the Dr. Pepper commercials have like a Halloween theme and they're Fansville commercials. But I have not seen one this year. Have I missed it? Have you seen any? I feel like they kind of around the seasons they kind of have different commercials. Anyways,
maybe I have and I just can't think of it.
All right. Okay, guys. Well, for all of you going to the game, enjoy. For all of you not going to the game, also enjoy. Maybe Oklahoma will surprise us all and win as a 3.5-point underdog at Tennessee. Grant, any final thoughts?
Nip high football rules. Hopefully.
Indeed. Until next time, everybody. For Grant, I am Lee. This is West of Everest. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you subscribe to the show. And if you want to help us spread the word, please leave us a 5-star review. And also, tell all of your friends who are OU fans about West of Everest. You can listen to this podcast on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, and SoundCloud.